It has truly been a season to remember for Texas Tech, number 5 in the country, and the calls are clear. Jacob Rodriquez for Heisman, they put him in last week. He gets the offensive touchdown, but this defense with David Bailey and Height and Rodriguez has been dominant. The stop rate, the fumble recoveries, the forced fumbles, Jacob Rodriquez has been leading the way, and we are honored to have him join us now in an off week. Jacob Rodriquez from Texas Tech. We are digging it.
Yes.
I'm going to let Victor Cruz lead us off. What do you got for JR?
All right, Jacob, man. First of all, thanks again for joining us on the show and your off week. Hope you're healing up, getting the hot tub, cold tub, all the amenities. I have a question for you. You were a high school quarterback. How much do you feel like that helps you from reading defenses to leading defenses on the defensive side of the ball in terms of reading schematics? How do you feel like that helps you as being a linebacker?
Yeah, I think I have a huge advantage. I think being able to break down the opponent early in the week and then kind of just know, situationally where offense might want to attack, whether it's, what defense we're in, and trying to help cheat coverage a little bit to put us in the best spot or, where they want to attack the grass. I think it definitely gives me an advantage.
Jacob, Champ Bailey here. Man, great season. I mean, great career up to this point. Now, you were a dominant high school quarterback, recruited as a quarterback, you went to Virginia as a quarterback, but here, now you're at Texas Tech as a linebacker. Now, were you recruited as a linebacker, or how did you make that transition? Kind of tell me a little bit about that story.
Yeah, it was great. Coming out of high school, I played quarterback, and that's all I thought I was. But I was getting offers as a linebacker as well. And I know when Coach McGuire was at Baylor, he had offered me as a linebacker, and so that's kind of how I got in touch with him before I got to college. But I thought that I had that quarterback in me. But yeah, I'm glad I made the switch.
Jacob, what's up, man? Takeo Spikes here. We finally got another linebacker on the show, man. So thank you for coming on.
Sure.
All right, I got to ask you.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay. I got to ask you this. Well, I'm going to give you this comment. When I look at your game, I look at comps, and the comps that I see in the NFL are Fred Warner from the San Francisco 49ers. His ability to be able to diagnose plays pre-snap. I want to ask you about that, and what's your thought process when you go up against a lot of teams that runs a lot of RPO, run-pass options? What are your thought process before the snap versus post-snap?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with film prep and just getting ready. A lot of teams and offenses are universal, and there's some tells week to week that you're either getting run or pass pre-snap. And so when you can identify that from film study, you have a chance of being successful a little bit higher. So just going in and trying to defend everything we can. But when you find something on film and you see it on the field, that's a great feeling.
Jake, I got one more question to ask you. Here at TNT, we talk, and what makes us so special, we feel as if we're talking amongst each other in the locker room. So my next question to you is this. How bad or how important is it for you to get that invite to New York City to be a finalist for the Heisman?
I mean, it means a lot. It means a lot, but I would trade everything for a Big 12 championship and a run in the college football playoff. With this team we got and the guys we have in the locker room, and I just can't wait to see what we do in a couple of weeks.
And that's what we like about you, Jacob. You're not in here about the solo accolades, and I am not going to ask you a question. And because you're so humble and you're not going to go out there and talk about how you deserve an invite, I don't have a question. In fact, I have a speech because I think you've earned it. My fellow Americans, we find ourselves once again at the crossroads of justice and tradition, where the hearts of linebackers often get overshadowed by the arms of quarterbacks, and I've had enough, where touchdowns are glorified and tackles are forgotten. But not this year, not on our watch, because deep in West Texas, in the red dust and relentless heat, a defender has risen, and his name is Jacob Rodriquez. I'm talking 7 forced fumbles. I'm talking 4 interceptions. I'm talking 2 touchdowns, 1 on either side of the ball. He is the engine of a top 5 defense, the soul of a 10-1 team, and he's doing it all, my friends, all with a mustache given to him by the gods. It is time to honor grit over glamour. It is time to honor hits over highlights and send a message to every kid from California to New York with eye black and a dream. I ask you today to send the stash. Send Jacob Rodriquez to a New York City as a Heisman finalist. And Jacob, I want you to know that I do not stand alone in this belief. In fact, this message, your mustache, is a true moment. And we here at TNT are sending you in our hearts and our minds to New York City. So while you may be humble, we will be the spokesperson for your journey. And America, I ask you, for linebackers like Taquillo Spikes, for those that never had the chance, send Jacob Rodriquez to New York City. Come on now! Send him to New York City, baby! Send the stash! Jacob, I hope it's okay we took those liberties. Thank you so much, Jacob. You are the best. Send the stash to New York.
He deserves it.
There's some possible Heisman hopefuls on Ohio State. Some of them were out. Bo Jackson there gets the touchdown. Yeah, that's his name. 19 for 110 and 2 touchdowns. Then Claire here, he went over 100. They didn't have their top receivers. Ohio State still wins by 33. Texas A&M, they had that scare last week against South Carolina.
Not this week, though.
Not this week. Reed finding Concepcion for a touchdown. Then Reed finding Bethel Roman for a deep 58-yard bomb. All Texas A&M.
He needs to be in New York as a
Marcel Reed.
Absolutely.
I don't know if he has a mustache.
He might.
But we can send him. Man, yeah. Texas A&M doing it all. I think people are waiting for that season to have that crashing down to earth, and that hasn't happened yet either. Another battle in the SEC, Missouri, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, a top 10 team. Missouri behind Drinkwitz has been dangerous all year. We saw this earlier. Satania, 87 yards to the crib.
Threw the burners on as soon as he caught that sidearm fireball from the back and takes it home, baby.
Mateer finding Javonte Gibbs for an 8-yard touchdown.
Come on, kids, stay
Oklahoma.
inside. Stay inside.
Ran
That
it perfectly.
defense
That
is
little
serious.
hesitation and then break over to the middle, he executed it perfectly.
You don't see Missouri's offense get held to 6 very often. Satania there, 3 for 109 and a touchdown, 87 of that.
That's a good day.
All in that one play. All right, let's go to some ACC action. Miami taking on Virginia Tech, which will be the new school of Senor James Franklin. And there's your former quarterback champ, Carson Beck's finding Prinkle for the season.
Yeah, had a little dip in the middle of the season, but it looked like he's back on track.
Malachi Tony here going up and over the defender for the 20-yard touchdown.
Pretty much sealed the game right there.
Miami is trying to find themselves in the college football playoff. Beck, since the SMU game, almost 80%, nearly 900 yards, an 8-0 touchdown to interception ratio, 3 consecutive games by at least 3 scores. Will they make
Carson Beck
into the playoffs? We present to you head coach James. What do we think? Is he going to do well there?
I think he's going to do well there because he won't have to worry about playing Ohio State every year.
Yeah, will he get the money to do well?
That part.
You need the players.
Yes.
How far will he go in the ACC? Right?
It has to start there, right?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to compete with the SEC. Georgia in action taking on Charlotte. 2nd and 4, first quarter, Nate Frazier. He has a nose for the end zone. 12 carries, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns for him on the day. You didn't play with your food today, champ. The Bulldogs took it home.
Yeah, man, they did what they're supposed to do. I wish we could get that goose egg, but for some reason, we have to let teams score.
When's the last time they had a shutout?
I don't know. It's been too long. I don't remember it.
Looks like you're going to play in the SEC championship. How do you feel about that?
It's 50-50.
Don't look past
as long as we
Georgia Tech.
win, I'm okay with it.
What about Georgia Tech? How do you feel about
We
that?
should handle business there.
What?
Why are y'all acting surprised?
Against your Heisman guy?
Why are y'all acting
James
surprised,
King
though? We're supposed to win that game. Easy.
2022 was the last Georgia shutout. by
Haynes
the way.
King,
Thank you,
that's your
guys.
guy.
He is.
Alabama taking on Eastern Illinois. Daniel Hill taking the handoff, going untouched for the touchdown. Then Kevin Riley up the middle, just pounding them without mercy.
It's another
Alabama,
team that didn't play with their food today either.
49-0. The Tide rolling. College football's biggest stage returns, and it's here on TNT. The stakes could not be higher. College football playoff kicks off on December 19th and 20th with first-round coverage presented by Allstate. December 20th, we are going to have the 2 night games, and it looks like we're going to have a post-game show breaking down that playoff action in what could be one of the more contested playoffs that we've had in quite some time. I don't know how Champ's feeling about his Georgia Dogs, but they got a big chance this year.
Look, we got it. I'm not worried about anything.
They ain't gonna get past Georgia Tech next
Champ a
week.
little too relaxed.
Boy, you are such a hater. You're from Georgia, man. Come on.